On January 1st, 1987, the first chapter of Hirohiko Araki's manga, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, was published in Weekly Shonen Jump magazine. While initially starting out as essentially muscular dudes fighting supernatural beings with spiritual energy, the series would evolve over time and eventually develop its own unique style, especially with the introduction of stands, which are the embodiments of a character's fighting spirit that comes in a variety of different forms with various abilities. You know the series Persona? Well, they basically got that idea from this. Because of the manga's ability to change up its cast, setting, and time period with each new storyline, introducing new concepts and setups to keep things interesting, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has gone on to become one of the best-selling and longest-running manga series in history. Since 2016, I've been engrossed in this franchise, mostly through the 2012 anime adaptation that put JoJo on the map for most Westerners, myself included. I became so much of a fan that I even made JoJo the theme of my 2017 Halloween livestream. As I started to delve more and more into the franchise, I eventually came to learn of a particular comic that at one point attempted to ape the success of Hirohiko Araki's creation. You see, a few months back, I was chatting with TitanGoji, a fellow JoJo fan, about the series. At one point he said,
"Hey Andres, did you know about this one American JoJo ripoff?"
And I was like, "American JoJo ripoff? Whatever do you mean?" And he was like,
"Yeah, there was this knockoff of JoJo Part 3. It's called Diesel."
Of course, my curiosity got the best of me, so I looked it up online.
A few moments later.
It was true. Someone in 1997 indeed tried to plagiarize JoJo with a comic called Diesel, a series that lasted only one single issue. The comic went so far as to not only copy the concept of people fighting with superpowered ghosts, but also have the characters straight up refer to them as stands. The comic also replicated the exact same storyline found in chapters 183 through 188 of the manga. In recent years, it's been explained that the writer and artist, Joe Welchins, came across a fan-subbed copy of the 1993 OVA adaptation of JoJo's third and most popular storyline, Stardust Crusaders. Having been a fan of the OVA, he attempted to have the manga localized through Antarctic Press, a publisher that specialized in manga and anime-inspired American comics. When that didn't work out, he wanted to replicate it as a means of bringing the awesomeness of JoJo to the West. Now, as to why the comic only lasted one issue is anyone's guess. Maybe it was so bad that Antarctic canceled the series due to poor sales, or maybe they were afraid of getting sued and wanted to pull the plug before that could happen. But as for Welchins' excuse, I have to call BS. Wanting to pay homage to another artist's work and straight up plagiarizing it are two very different things. Once more, if you want to see a property that takes the concept of stands and put a new spin on it, look no further than Persona. Speaking as a comic writer myself, I completely understand the idea of taking inspiration from one or several sources in order to craft an original story, especially one that's meant to pay tribute to the very things that inspired you. But at the very least, you can try to do your own spin on them in an attempt to create something worth reading, such is the case with my fellow comic creators and their bodies of work. Heck, even Araki himself has stated that he took heavy inspiration from both Fist of the North Star and Bram Stoker's Dracula when he came up with the first storyline for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Unfortunately for Joe Welchins' comic, nothing of substantial value was added to the concepts he took from JoJo Part 3. Now, it's bad enough that he would stoop so low as to copy someone else's work, but the comic is also abysmal in the storytelling and art department. Characters have this awkward blending of a semi-realistic Western aesthetic and exaggerated anime-style expressions that go well like oil and water. Even when the characters remain in a mostly Western comic style, the characters' faces and body structures lack any consistency. As for the stands themselves, they may have been okay had this been its own thing, but they pale in comparison to Araki's elaborate designs. On top of that, the comic does a lackluster job of conveying any sort of information to the audience within this one issue. By the end, you're left with zero clue as to who these characters are, what their relationships are to each other, who they're fighting, and what the hell these stands even are. All you know by the end is that there's a guy named Thomas Diesel that knows a group of people, for some reason, who find out that a mentor figure from their past was killed by a villain, for some reason, and now is under attack by the villain's henchmen, for some reason. Now, I could go more in depth with these flaws, but I wanted to do something special for a comic this infamous. Prior to recording this review, I decided to show this comic to my friend Crookedlore, another fellow Joe Bro, and these were his genuine reactions.
Oh, you're introducing me. Instead of continuing the video, you decide to introduce me.
I can't record the shit out of you unless I get in the same Skype conversation as you.
Oh, then by all means, continue. There's gonna be a lot of this, folks, so I hope you enjoy that.
Yeah.
This whole video is a JoJo reference. Just say it once, it's gonna work for the whole video.
Are you ready to delve into the world of the very, very short, but somewhat baffling world of Diesel? Are you ready to dive into Diesel's baffling adventure?
How can I ignore a comic with such a manly name? It has the word die in it.
Because we know JoJo is known for both its masculinity and its flamboyancy, and let's see how much it has of either one.
Andres, both together just means you're comfortable with your sexuality. That's really the moral of JoJo.
The whole point of JoJo is don't judge. Looking at the cover alone right here, right here and now, you got to yourself this sort of like very rusted sort of title logo, and you got this sort of like blank black background, and you see this sort of like pseudo half this blue Lobo or Blobo as
Lobo
Blobo Platinum as we like to call him.
Well, he looks like either a mix of Star Platinum and Lobo from DC Comics or Blanca from Street Fighter. First things first, that image of Hercules finding the lion there. I thought it was Hercules getting a blowjob from the lion. Whoa! I understand JoJo had a lot of vibes like that, but I was not expecting this.
Right, it's just coming right at you. It's showing you what it's got.
Water looks like footage. It looks like a picture of actual water from a fountain that was photoshopped into this. Someone cropped it out of actual footage of a fountain and put it in there.
We see a look at our not Dio. Yeah, because, he's blonde. He's sort
let's
of
call
hidden
him
away.
Bio,
because he stinks. Next panel, we'd, see the door and we hear a Vree Choom, which I have no fucking clue what that's supposed to mean.
Yeah, but what would be the American version of the Ora Ora?
Vree Choom?
How the other guard is just like, whoa, what happened there?
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, I hope that doesn't happen to me. Oh, God! And then you see
It happened to me.
Yeah. And already, the inconsistency in the art is very prevalent here, as his face completely morphs from Jean-Claude Van Damme to Arnold Schwarzenegger from panel 1 to panel 2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, better name for this Dio? Soy Dio, because look how skinny he is.
Soy Dio. And already we got ourselves the ho mukatte kuru no ka moments where JoJo is walking approaching him, and they're getting ready to fight. He's putting his tiny wine glass down, and flashback 3 months earlier. So what Crooked and I wanted to do is that we wanted to go through and read through this comic, but unfortunately I can't even tell who is talking on this page.
What are you talking about? Clearly someone inside the house is talking and someone hiding in the pool is talking.
It appears this trip was for nothing. I'm sorry to have bothered you, Mr. Botha. I guess that's not Dio or Bio's name. Mr. Botha, but I thought you were.
Well, let's just say I was misinformed. That works too well for this character, I won't lie.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, Alan Rickman should have played Dio if he was still alive today. This is an incredible house. In fact, I believe it is almost traced by per se. I love the pool, I always wanted one for myself. What's the price for one of these, if you don't mind me asking?
Mr. Evans, are you trying to seduce me?
Again, looking at the next page, I can only assume that Joe Welchins never saw the OVA, the JoJo OVA to completion, because I don't think this matches up with what the world is capable of.
The world. You know what we should do when we see a stand? Give it a name of a bad song or a bad album.
We should totally do that, because, spoiler alert, the majority of the stands in this comic have no names. They don't do the anime thing of, like, announcing their attacks.
Alright, so we'll call the blue one that's supposed to be Star Platinum, the Monkeys.
The Monkeys, okay. Right, because they're the knockoff of the Beatles. So I'm going to do my Patrick Warburton for no Joe here. It's been a long time now since I left. I haven't seen May now in a little over a year. I hope she doesn't mind me dropping in unexpectedly like this, but I want to surprise her. Oh, do I? And then here we go. I want you to read what this character says.
I sense you're a stand user, friend, so don't move a muscle and identify yourself.
So as you can see here, they're straight up using the term stand in this comic. No.
So beware the power of my stand, insane clown posse.
No, I was almost going to say that's Red Hot Chili Pepper from Part 4.
Oh, that's even better. No, it's insane clown posse. I don't care.
Now wait just a minute. He's going to do the smartest thing anyone's ever done in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Punching lightning.
Oh my god, in this one panel, the stand has pupils.
Oh my god! Both his chin and his nose grew 3 sizes between the first and third panels.
All right, now she needs a good name for her stand. What's a good female band?
3LW.
Actually, that's too cool of a name actually for a stand.
Well, what's the name?
Josie and the Pussycats.
Josie and the Pussycats. There we go. So her stand's name is Josie and the Pussycats, and it's like I want to say this is like the most generic stand ever. Where also it's kind of weird because it's like a person wearing a costume, and none of the stands are actually like that because you can see like
it looks like it has 4 pairs of boobs.
That is kind of true. Yeah, it's a weird like sort of like spine thing. Both her and the spines are sort of like weirdly shaped, but then again, it's aping off JoJo, so weird spine alignments are nothing new in that manga.
Should have called her stand Miami Connection.
Why?
Because it looks like a ninja. I keep on thinking of that song from the movie Escape, the Fight the Ninja, or whatever it was.
All right. How you doing, Chewbacca? We got ourselves an Iggy here, and he's called Chewbacca. So I don't know. Maybe Joe was trying to go for movie references. Maybe we should have gone with movie references instead of music references this whole time. I thought you were in China, or you hardly ever call her right. I've been worried sick about you. Again, we have no idea who these characters are. We don't know what he's doing in China. We don't know how they know each other.
I do not like that face he's making.
Yeah, it's all kinds of disturbing right there. I'm assuming this is supposed to be like the Abdol of the group, because he kind of got a little similar thing going on with the hair.
But Abdol was cool.
But this guy's got a Gold Diggers t-shirt on. That's got to count for something, right?
Sellouts. Fucking sellouts.
I'll let you do Tommy.
Oh yeah, make the white guy do the black guy voice. That sounds good.
We don't know what race he is.
Oh man, I barely recognized you. Trying to do a Chris Rock voice for him.
What's going on? What's everyone?
Wait, which one said that?
I think that's supposed to be Nojo. Thomas, Dad is dead.
Have mercy. I don't know why. That's the 90s. Black guys are allowed to be kind of stereotypical.
I want to talk to you about Ryuo, which is Japanese for Dragon King. I don't know why. Of course. I have no idea why this clearly non-Asian person is calling himself Ryuo, but who knows?
So now he's either evil or a hentai protagonist. But then again, the layouts.
Can you guess who that is?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say it. It's not because I find it insulting to actually say it.
Yeah, and of course, instead of controlling water here, he's summoning his blood because it's the 90s. So you gotta be all extreme. So, of course, he's gotta control blood.
Yeah. Oh, even better. Oh, I just realized for the Dio in this, let's call him Jack Black, since Jack Black did a cover of a Dio song.
And so he's walking, and he's like, whoop! He slips on a pool of blood, which of course naturally blends in well with the rest of the environment, unlike water.
All right, who spilled the tomato juice outside? I stepped in it. It's all over my shoe now.
No, you know what? I should have been doing I should have done that one character from South Park. I forgot his name at the moment. It sounds like
Jimmy.
Sounds like Doug is barking up a storm.
Very inaccurate to JoJo because that dog's still alive.
Oh my god!
Chewie killed Joseph!
He's still alive. Are you alright, Joe? Hey, you're not supposed to call... He's not the JoJo here. Enemy stand! It's an enemy stand! And so already we lost one of our main characters here.
Oh man, I really liked him too, with the stuff he did and the things.
Yeah, we're never gonna see Insane Clown Posse ever again. Oh, He must be controlling the stand from a distance. And then,
they even kept that ability.
Yeah. What should we call this blood stand?
Let's see. We need to think of like a grunge band or something.
You know what? Let's just call him Nirvana.
Metallica.
Metallica. Okay, let's call him Metallica then.
Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin. I was gonna go with what was it called? Like Hammerstein, Ramstein. All right, so yeah, sure. Let's go with your idea. So who do we choose for him?
I think it was Led Zeppelin. That's what I said.
Back to the house. Move away from the stand. It can't get us if we're in a cabin. And so
that is logical thinking because there's no sounds like made in a cabin.
Of course. Oh no, Alex! And he chops off Alex's feet. I didn't even knew this guy's name was Alex. I'm gonna assume this is Hierophant Green? Because he's got the...
This is dubstep.
Dubstep? No. This is Skrillex. Okay, so this is Skrillex.
Yeah, Skrillex. Oh, it looks like Skrillex. That's the sad part. Oh my god, that's not even a stand. That's just a Gundam.
The thing is, it's like I've heard people online call it a Gundam. Guess where I at first I thought this was like I thought this was Tekken Man Blade until I later found out exactly what it was. And so I want to show you this particular art. And I wanted you to tell me if it looks similar to it. If not, exactly it. So I'm sending it to you on Facebook right now.
Oh my god, that is it. Well, like a cheaper version of it.
It's apparently from an anime that Masami Obari made called Detonator Orgun. It's the fucking traced Orgun for this stand.
Go get him, Dallas Store Gundam.
Yeah, so I'm going to call him, since it's already a Gundam ripoff, I'm going to call him Tobe Gundam, which is the name of the song from the opening of the original Gundam. So it's Tobe.
So actually get them from Japan. No.
We got to call him Mr. Roboto or Styx.
Oh god, it's even better, Mr. Roboto.
Mr. Roboto, yes. Go, Mr. Roboto.
This Burns must be a I can't pronounce that name. Must be Azizi's Black Templar stand. It actually has a name?
I guess so.
All right. I'll have to be more careful.
I don't fight stand users because I want to. I just like the way it feels. I'm making too much noise. Choom! Which, of course, choom is much more of a quieter sound than the sound of simply walking in a forest.
Everyone's leaving except for running. Those strides, full of confidence, courage, lust. All right. I must be, yes, Thomas Diesel. Wait, that's his actual name? I thought it was just a joke. Finally, I've got it. Both will be pleased. Jack Black will be pleased. But Thomas, no matter how powerful your meta hammer may be, that's the name of the...
Yep, that's Blobo there, real name.
That is so 90s. Oh my god.
Yep, there we go. That's the pose that he just straight up took and reused for the cover. Row! And then, yipe! He killed Iggy in the first issue.
I said the one thing I didn't want to copy from JoJo.
Right, the horrible abuse against dogs.
Yeah, so how come dogs have it worse than humans in that show?
I have no idea, man. Maybe a dog bit Hirohiko Araki when he was a child, and he was like, fuck all dogs now. This is like one of the worst like panel layouts I've seen in a comic. So we have a 2-page spread where like this, it should have been a 1-page spread, but for whatever reason, the image on the right side is taking over the left page, and we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 fucking panels shoved to like the side of the left page just to make room for an image that could have clearly have been in 1 page. So,
Murda, I paid attention. Is that say Murda? Is that trying to say Muda? Muda.
Maybe he's supposed to be foreign, so that's his language. I'm not sure.
What language?
I don't know, man.
I paid attention to the dog and lost Diesel. Where is he? Come on, where are you? He isn't moving. Come on, go to your old pal Mac.
And so he's standing right behind him. Kono giorno giovana ni wa yume ga aru. Wait, sorry, wrong JoJo. No, wait, sorry, this is not as cool. Vreechum!
Oh my god, look at him force enemy to kiss his hand.
Why? Who the hell are you? Talk, damn it!
Alright, I can't tell you anything, sorry. And now we have superhuman samurai.
Yes.
Because I need to think of something 90s, so...
All right, sure. So we got another stand that's essentially a dude in a costume, which is not what
Or
a stand is.
girl.
Or, yeah.
I think I see poop.
J-Bot. Hello, Thomas. Sorry, I can't explain. If it's any consolation, you've passed the first test. Now I shall go to the one place you will never find me. Spies! Space! And so, yeah, the comic just ends there with him awkwardly standing there with a dead blind dude in his arms. He's like, is that it? I was expecting more. Alright, I guess I'm done here. Boy, I lost my friends, I lost my dog, Joey. I certainly hope this chapter, things go better for me, because this is a really awkward place to end a story.
I hope my black friends are alright.
And you know what? Since this comic never went anywhere, I'm going to assume everyone ended up dying, and that's why, Nojo is the only person there to face off against Jack Black, and I'm going to assume that he got killed by Jack Black as well. Diesel, Master of Dragons Part 1.
Why?
Part 1 of 1. I don't know why there's a subtitle. I guess Master of Dragons is like the equivalent of Stardust Crusaders. I don't know why Master of Dragons. I guess that's the name of the story arc.
This looks like a cover to an old video game in the back. Actually, it looks like the back information to an old video game cartridge.
And again, this is a much more interesting cover art than what we eventually got. And I'm assuming this is like an earlier design for the monkey stand because
look at the things around his arms.
Yeah, he's got bandages instead of just like goth rubber bracelet straps. And so we got story, pencils, inks, colors, not to mention writing, by Joe Welchins, created by Joe Welchins. Special thanks to Jennifer, Leal, Joe Wright, Patty Kelly.
Special thanks to Joe Welchins.
So, special thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Welchins. Let's see, Fred Perry, Pat Thornton, Brian Yelitz, Pat Duke, and Ben Dunn. This is
now
all.
You gotta thank the creator of JoJo.
It's all. Yeah, I know. No special thanks to Hirohiko Araki. At least during my fucking comic, I credited the people I took inspiration from. Logo and dragon symbol designed by Pat Kelly. Cover color by Pat Duke.
Oh, you mean the symbol we didn't see in this story whatsoever?
I guess maybe that's the symbol on the back cover, which is it's supposed to look like a kanji, but it doesn't look like any kanji I've ever seen personally, although, again, I could be wrong though. As you can tell by that montage, Diesel number 1 is devoid of any merit. Its art is underwhelming, its story conveys zero information to the reader, and its creativity rides off the coattails of someone else's success. Its existence serves no real purpose other than to show comic creators how to make a comic with zero creative integrity. In fact, the only real entertainment you can get from this comic is if you're already a JoJo fan and you want to see how Joe Welchins poorly executes Araki's ideas. If you're not a JoJo fan, then there's nothing really to gain from this comic, and you're better off just watching or reading the real thing. While I'm sure there are plenty of comics out there more terrible than this, Diesel number 1 is quite possibly the worst comic I've ever personally read, a title I previously gave to The Dark Knight Strikes Again. To reiterate, on its own, it's a very mediocre comic, but from a comic creator standpoint, Diesel deserves nothing less than a 1 out of 5. Thank you everybody for joining me on this truly bizarre adventure, and a special thanks to Crookedlore for sharing the burden of reading Diesel number 1, and TitanGoji for his assistance in editing this video. If you'd like to see more reactionary type videos such as this, please let me know in the comments below. Until next time everybody, take care.